a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
Listen, I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot.
Floyd Mayweather breaks down the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight by saying that Davis is making his own decisions and he is risking his career. Floyd explains that he has given advice before, but if it is not taken, it is no longer his concern. He adds that the matchup is good for the sport, the money is great, and he will definitely be watching the fight.
Within my company, within my team, do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
The boxing world has been buzzing with heated discussions about the upcoming match between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Fans and analysts have divided into opposing camps, each arguing whether this fight should even take place. While some claim it's a marketing gimmick, others believe it's a chance for Tank to expand his reach beyond traditional boxing audiences. Amid this noise, many insiders have stepped forward to share their thoughts, some defending Tank's choice, and others criticizing the sport's direction.
And number 3, to retire.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2? Not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur. That he ain't gonna do him no favors. That he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean. That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean. You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean. You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game, but you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about him, but it is kind of crazy.
Trainer Greg Hackett expressed frustration with the wave of backlash Gervonta Davis has been receiving. He argued that people today criticize fighters for nearly everything they do, often without understanding their personal situations. Hackett emphasized that if Davis chooses to fight Jake Paul, then that decision should be respected. He noted that no one outside the ring truly knows what a fighter is going through or what motivates their career choices. For Hackett, boxing fans need to stop dictating who a fighter should face and instead appreciate the work and discipline it takes to stay at the top level. His view reflects a broader frustration among trainers and athletes who feel social media has turned boxing criticism into a constant spectacle.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You're like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get shit from you.
Another major discussion has centered around sports analyst Max Kellerman, whose commentary has drawn significant backlash. Many boxing analysts accuse Kellerman of being overly biased, especially toward fighters like Gervonta Davis. In several of his recent appearances, Kellerman dismissed Tank's achievements, suggesting that he had never been a true champion in his weight division or accomplished anything particularly notable. These comments didn't sit well with analysts, who argued that Kellerman's take ignored the reality of Davis's impressive record and knockout power. Critics believe Kellerman's analysis reveals a deeper bias in the boxing media, one that tends to undervalue younger stars while overhyping spectacle-driven narratives. This debate highlights how perception and favoritism continue to influence how fighters are judged in the public eye.
Because Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion, that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. Bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing, and to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta, that Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135. And there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary. The title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's there.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi has never been shy about voicing strong opinions, and this matchup is no exception. He openly criticized the idea of Davis fighting Jake Paul, arguing that the sport is losing authenticity. According to him, knockouts only carry meaning when they happen between evenly matched opponents. Manufactured fights, he claimed, cheapen boxing and misled casual viewers into thinking they're witnessing legitimate contests. During his discussion with fellow analyst Chris Algieri, Malignaggi made it clear that while casual fans might find the event entertaining, serious followers of the sport can see through the spectacle. He believes that allowing social media-driven fighters to share the same stage as world-class athletes creates confusion about what real boxing represents. His comments cut deep, pointing to a growing tension between entertainment and tradition within the sport.
Knockouts, dude. Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweights.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
current champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it, you know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of
Witherspoon, that we're afraid of.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you gonna fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone.